Everything great about Jurassic World is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. My girlfriend Julia and I sat down in the theater to Kill Bill, and I immediately said, I just realized this is Quentin Tarantino. It might be really gory. For some reason, it hadn't occurred to me. And almost the same exact thing happened to my wife, Julia, and I when we sat down to Jurassic World. My initial memory of the Jurassic Park movies is fun, dinosaurs, pretty, yay! Once you've seen it, it's just pure joy. But these are actually thrillers, borderline monster horror films. All that to say, I love that this ominous music reminds you of that. By the way, it's the same girl. And then a creepy dino hand to confirm. Nod to how wrong our interpretation of dinosaurs was when the first film came out, and that they're a lot closer to birds. Way to give away the whole finale of this movie by showing stills of the 1925 The Lost World.
Jack, you're not going off to war here.
Not the first time you were wrong about something, David Wallace. If you had just answered Michael's calls. Oh man, it's Minnie Leslie Knope from the Model UN. I want to live in this winter wonderland where the snow has not one trace of dirt in it, even kicked up from tires onto the glass, and you can have feet of snow in your front yard but only a light dusting on your roof. My wife really hates it when I shovel the roof. Yes, that's a thing New Englanders actually have to do. We don't know why we live here either.
And remember, if something chases you,
Judy Greer's always a win.
where's Aunt Claire?
What's the big deal? You got bizarro Rachel Weisz instead. You'll definitely be safe with her. Why would they kill such a sweet, innocent babysitter? There he is. Jeff Goldblum is always a win, even in book form.
Come on!
Zach perfectly embodies me getting excited for this movie. I love how the main theme is teased as he runs through the park. I know, nostalgia is the devil. How dare you play on my emotions? Guess who doesn't care? Guess who loves happy memories and music that stirs their inner child?
Advances in gene splicing have opened up a whole new frontier. We've learned more from genetics in the past decade than a century of digging up bones.
Well, how did you get two different kinds of dinosaurs to,
Good thing we have more on Money Guy so someone can explain gene splicing and genetic modification. Is that for Stan Winston? Like the special effects guru from all of our favorite 80s movies? I think the best thing going for this movie is the realization of Hammond's dream. And for all intents and purposes, it seems to be working so far. Who knows how many accidental eatings they have to bury each year. Could have been because it was a second feature at the drive-in, but it was ironically this scene with Mr. DNA in the first movie that I fell asleep for a few minutes.
It occurred to you maybe that's in poor taste?
The shirt? Yeah, no, it did. I understand people died.
That's the best kind of lampshading.
Verizon Wireless presents the Indominus Rex.
Oh, that is so terrible.
Pepsi SARS, Tostito Don.
Says the guy with Mike and Ike's on his desk. Yeah, that's either the worst product placement ever or just actual stage dressing. Clairvoyance. I mean, clairvoyance.
Initial
No.
projection.
How is it doing? Are the guests having fun? Are the animals enjoying life?
I do love the Jurassic Park take on CEOs. Definitely following in Hammond's footsteps. People give the world runners, that's dumb, park runners a hard time for not having planned things out and for making dumb decisions. But that line, 16 minutes in, is a perfect encapsulation of how the park is run.
It's bigger than expected.
Bigger than expected? That's exactly what Dr. Ian Malcolm was talking about. They don't know what they're doing. They're cowboys rushing through genetic engineering without doing their due diligence to push products out.
It's a good sign.
And when the guy in charge of it all is just concerned with patron satisfaction, these things happen.
We have the best structural engineers in the world.
That's what it happened.
Well, I don't know if I'd say that. Hammond's engineers designed walls that turned into cliffs if it was raining too hard. It's kind of insane that Spielberg and, I guess, Michael Crichton knew right from the beginning that the Raptors would be the stars. Well, actually villains, then anti-heroes, villains again, and then stars 2 decades later.
Is that why you're not sending in your reports?
We've been busy.
I'm too busy to cash your paychecks. What do you need, buddy?
So obviously I hate Vincent D'Onofrio's character in this movie, and that's exactly what he was going for, even if he's a cheeseball. But let's be honest here for a second. The mere fact that Private Pyle, Edgar Moore Sugar, or Wilson Fisk can play this role as well as those others makes him always a win.
These guys are gonna run straight into the enemy's teeth and eat them, belt buckle and all.
How long has InGen been practicing this pitch? Since the day we hired you out of the Navy?
I mean, that does make sense. Why would they send a Navy SEAL to train dinosaurs if not to turn them into weapons?
Hey! What did I just say? Belt up. I see you. Back up.
Something I was a tad worried about was if they would sort of dumb down or tame the raptors too much, but man, do they not. There is only an inkling of domestication in that they listen-ish to Owen. Otherwise, they're as vicious as ever.
Don't ever turn your back to the cage.
Did that Apatosaurus just roll its eyes? Starbrontosaurus. Merstegosaurus. Last one, I swear. I've said it before, but you guys know brands exist in real life. Go ahead, I dare you to look around you right now and tell me there are no brands in sight. Canon, DeWalt, Dell, Swingline, Petzl, Apple, HP. Oh, what's this? Dixon pencils. Oh, and Bic. That's pretty awesome, yet still horrifying. Nothing that large should have ever existed.
You made a new dinosaur, but you don't even know what it is?
The lab delivers us finished assets and we show them to the public.
More evidence that they didn't think any of this through. I know, you're probably thinking, but isn't that not a win? Not if the characters are specifically written this way. That's the point. These are the reasons you shouldn't be surprised when they're confused and start making terrible decisions later on. It's just dollars and cents to her.
This is control. You need to evacuate the container.
I know, so convenient, right? Not really. They showed us earlier that the Indominus paddock is outside the normal park, establishing later
That paddock is 4 miles from the closest attraction.
and they're on an island to begin with. I can't get service in my office right now, so cell phones, two-way radios, all that stuff is going to be touch and go, especially inside giant concrete walls. Ever been to a Home Depot?
We have an asset out of containment. Put ACU on alert. This is not a drill.
And that's also the reason she starts driving towards the control room. Notice she doesn't blip up on the map until she's been driving for a while. This is what you get for making your amusement park on an island in the middle of nowhere. They hadn't landed that Verizon contract yet.
Get them out of there now.
And I don't hate that the conflict starts really quick. The old zombie saying applies. You don't have to be faster than the Indominus, just faster than the other guy. So they have a big door. Of course they have a big door. What if they need to sedate and move the I-Rex out to upgrade/clean the paddock? You can't only have human-sized doors, it's just not realistic. I mean, that's brutal. Eaten alive by Dino is brutal. Apparently he was listening to Claire.
You might want to change your shirt. They're very sensitive to smell.
He even changed his shirt.
Everyone, remain calm.
I appreciate this pause. It's not something thrillers often do. Once the action and killing starts, it's every man for themselves. But yeah, the people who are safe are going to be freaked out and sad that their friends just died. That arm does smell delicious.
Right? You're gonna get 2 birthdays, 2 Thanksgivings.
Silver linings?
That's her tracking implant. She clawed it out.
How would it know to do that?
She remembered where they put it in.
I like the way her level of intelligence is left vague, but still really scary. All we know for sure is that she's committed to slaughtering some humans. And other dinos. Oh, that's some good stuff. Ian Malcolm's chaos theory explanation lives on. Oh, everyone's slowly looking up like that, not sure what they're seeing since she's camouflaged. Hey, it's Mariko's corrupt politician fiance. Still better than getting thrown out a window. Nah, no, it's not. Yeah, unfortunately she doesn't need a mouth to massacre you all. Brutal, but sort of tasteful and artistically pleasing in a weird way.
Here.
You're better off. The last guy with a messy desk didn't go out so hot.
What do you think's gonna happen from you just staring at them?
We never do know, but man, do we think it works at 15. Do we ever? Or if you prefer not to be eaten by dinosaurs. No, Keith, no matter how much you pout, Nancy Wheeler is not going to date you. I know he was Woo in Jurassic Park, but BD Wong will always be the bad guy from Mystery Date for me. 93, Ethan Hawke? You guys know what I'm talking about.
Many of them would look quite different, but you didn't ask for reality. You asked for more teeth.
That's a decent explanation for why they don't have feathers.
Are there any gyrospheres left in the valley?
No, they're all accounted for. It's my job. What? Yeah, there's one in the field.
Nick Miller being terrible at his job is par for the course. Yikes. Whew, gravity to the rescue. That was scary. Brotherly love. Where they could use CGI and probably 80% of the audience wouldn't know the difference, they used an animatronic dino and it looks amazing.
Hey there, your safety is our main concern. Now just relax and enjoy the ride.
This is what happens when you put Jimmy Fallon in charge of safety. Well, that's pretty awesome. This must be where Rexy took those raptors down as they all escaped. Back to Shadow Moses one last time.
You're sure there's nobody else who can fly a helicopter?
We don't need anyone else.
Self-confidence.
You think it's out there?
I mean, I know for a fact it is definitely not out there. All right? Totally safe.
Discretion?
All right, turn it over.
Teamwork? Yeah, you're all tough now, I-Rex, crushing that old T-Rex skull. You just wait. Okay, this movie just took a turn. I mean, I learned my lesson after Jurassic Park 3 about scary dino birds, but still. They were not wrong about that being the money shot. So epic. The one thing I will say is that this entire unfolding of events is another perfect example of why things go so bad. Masrani seems like a really sweet guy, caring more about the animals and guest satisfaction than profits. Or, unfortunately, safety. Just like Hammond, he's naive, and it's what makes these movies work. The creation of Indominus Rex itself should have been stopped long before it started.
Think it'll scare the kids?
The kids? This'll give the parents nightmares.
Oh, and also, I don't know, that wasn't really self-sacrifice, he just kind of died. Might have actually made things worse. He was courageous, though, so courage. But yeah, worse. Something about her accent reminds me of the little girl from Resident Evil. Could be how calm she is in trying to make everyone else feel calm and not notice they're about to be pecked to death. This is freaking crazy. I know people died in the other movies, but most of them were either heroically saving someone else or just doing their jobs. Or they were stealing shaving cream or whatever. At the very least, people complicit in the things happening in the park. These are just random innocent patrons. Oh, is this some meta commentary about how we're responsible for the types of entertainment we consume? Topical. This guy still has the right idea. We all know how much alcohol costs at amusement parks. He even kind of looks like Jimmy. Oh my gosh, that is Jimmy Buffett. You leave that Triceratike alone. Ha! The one time being a chunk of a baby pays off. Oh, hey, that other pterodactyl saved her. Okay, guys, come on. This can't get any worse. Oh, spoke too soon. Yep, this is meta commentary. We did this, guys. We killed the innocent babysitter.
No, Alex, not having a bachelor party.
Although, she did try to deprive her fiancé of a bachelor party. So, I guess, comeuppance. It's no helicopter blade, but it puts in perspective how paralyzing these creatures actually are. One thing I just noticed is that Claire's hair realistically gets curlier/frizzier as the Jungle movie progresses. It starts out straight in her stick straight in the beginning, hitting max curl when she picks up the gun and becomes a badass good girl. Aww, all she needed was a life or death situation to see the value in Andy.
Can we stay with you? I am never leaving you as long as you live.
No, him!
Yeah, definitely him.
I mean, it is Chris Pratt.
We're brothers, okay? We'll always be brothers, and we'll always come back to one another.
There are a couple of relationships changing in this story, but brothers learning to get along is always a good one. Again, it's sort of insane to me how they pulled the coolest things out of the original trilogy and amped it up to 11 in this film. The Raptors are amazing. The way they move, how fast, how agile. So satisfying to see them in all their glory. And how could you possibly make it cooler? Oh yeah, just throw Chris Pratt on a motorcycle riding along. That had to be the elevator pitch for this movie. Have I mentioned I thank God for Chris Pratt?
Your boyfriend's a badass.
Yeah, I was getting to that. Badass good guy. And, hey, instead of having the kids and Claire follow along on the expedition to keep them a part of the action, they stay safe behind.
That thing's part raptor.
And that's the craziest twist ever. I know, it's so clear now, but first viewing, you weren't even thinking about it. It's got Rex in the name.
Raptor's got a new alpha.
And I mean, really, as much as we love seeing them as the good guys, they need a little stint of villainy. Good call, Kingpin. Next time, you should just smash the I-Rex's head in the paddock door. You know, do what you know.
Never let me see you again.
What, you don't want to share your sweet and sour sauce with the kids, right? Or ketchup? That's pretty brutal. Raptors wanted some sweet and sour human.
Oh, no, I have a boyfriend.
That's some realism and a cliche dodge.
Never me, don't mention him, ever.
No, I'm at work.
And they actually set this up earlier.
No, I didn't, meet him until I was 13. I definitely consider Carl to be more of a dad than my real dad.
She's not offering personal information because they're at work.
Nature is the gift.
Oh, that's so perfect. Monologuing about what nature has taught us while nature sneaks up to interrupt your blathering.
I'm on your side.
Oh, that's some comeuppance. Good enough to stop Newman, good enough to stop a raptor. For me, this scene made sense because when the Raptors initially changed allegiances, it wasn't against just Owen, it was a bunch of humans with guns. As if they realized they'd help the hunters find one of their own after the I-Rex clarified some things. At the end, it's just Blue who was Owen's beta, and Owen and fam were no longer a threat. Now the threat was the I-Rex. She was just killing to kill. It all depends how much intelligence you're willing to give these animals. I give them all of it. Also, in love with that moment as if Owen and Blue started speaking the same language again. Yeah, sticking up for your alpha. Oh, not Blue!
Wait here. It's gonna be fine.
Honest, reassure, cool-headedness. Come on! Even if I knew it was coming, I was not let down. Rexy to the rescue! Running faster than a T-Rex in heels. Here's the thing, it's a short distance. She's almost there by the time the T-Rex even gets going. And second, since it is Rexy from Jurassic Park 1, she's getting old. No way she can keep up with the Jeep anymore. And apparently she didn't like Jurassic Park 3 either. Remember, the Spinosaurus killed her cousin? Yep. Although I do love Owens. This was your plan? Look. This has got to be up there with craziest, awesomest finales ever. T-Rex versus T-Rex 2.0 plus Raptor? Blue to the rescue! You're my girl, Blue. Also, Chiquino's score is totally passable, but doesn't really stand out too much unless he's channeling / sampling / just straight up using John Williams' score from the original. But this track, My Rex is Bigger Than Yours, is so over the top with the background tribal voices. Oh, I love it. Also, while we're at it, the soundtrack includes other track named gems like As the Jurassic World Turns, Love in the Time of Terrasauria, and Rapture Your Heart Out. Good stuff, Chiquino. Best teamwork ever. Did Blue just vault off the T-Rex's back? And there's something so fulfilling seeing the Raptor work with the T-Rex after their disagreement in Jurassic Park. It's like all your happy memories coming back to fight off your new nightmare. There's your more teeth. Also, that's what you get for hanging your tail over the edge of the water like a fishing lure. Also, yeah. So that's probably a little too picture perfect, but consider that even if they wanted to fight right now, even real animals would most likely retreat after a crazy battle like that. I'm not saying they wouldn't eat the blueberry Slurpee pouches over there. Also, this T-Rex has literally messed with raptors before, when she inadvertently saved the day. Divorce ending hugging. To paraphrase my friend, he said that seeing the T-Rex roar like that made him light up like a kid again. And I couldn't agree more. I also like to think that the T-Rex specifically just went on a 4-mile hike to the Indominus's paddock to stand on top of it and roar mockingly. Another one of those too late sequel cash grab reboots that should have been a mismatch of callbacks and playing on nostalgia while giving us no interesting characters amidst a mediocre CGI fest. And I guess some of you felt exactly that way. I didn't. But that's at least what we were all nervous it was going to be. And then, for a lot of us at least, it wasn't. It was a fun adventure movie that captured the wonder / terror of the first film that's still sort of indescribable. Is it a monster movie? Sorta. But do we all secretly want to be friends with and own a few of the monsters? Also yes. One of my favorite things about this movie is something Spielberg did well in the first. It's not set in the future, it's just our time, but with dinosaurs. And realistically, like our consumer culture is currently, after being open for a few years, people are already bored with the status quo. Or more likely, the stockholders aren't seeing the insane initial growth and are trying to recapture it. But it's a world in which dinosaurs were cloned in the 90s, and since then, InGen has somehow convinced the world that it's totally safe now. One easy way it could have failed would be borrowing too much from Jurassic Park to not be its own thing. And there were plenty of callbacks, the kids behind the glass, and then vehicle falling on top of them, just like in the original. Plenty of fun nods in the old visitor center. Owen is some kind of mashup of Jeff Goldblum and Sam Neill. He's a dino expert, but also the one saying, "Stop being stupid and doing stupid things, science people. We're all gonna die."
Who's the alpha?
You're looking at him, kid.
He's the action star boyfriend, but he's also not the only savior in the film. Which brings me to Claire. Apparently there was some backlash against how she was written. People claiming that she's some robot woman who needs to be saved by a man so she'll want to have kids or some crap. First, this is real dialogue between sisters.
You'll see when you have kids.
Yeah, if.
When? It's worth it.
Especially one with kids and one without. I don't feel like the film picks a side on the children debate. At worst, it's just a shallow callback to Grant's hatred of kids. Yes, Judy Greer's character is annoying and pushy, but the issue wasn't about whether Claire needed to have kids. It's about what's more important when the chips are down. And Claire chooses her family. That was the point. Her main arc is seeing the dinosaurs as living, mutable beings rather than just her products. She doesn't miraculously decide to become a mom after the events of this film. Well, as far as I know. And while they play on some of the silly gender stereotypes in this film, ultimately Claire saves the day by risking her life all while in heels. They were screwed if she didn't go get Mama Rex, even if she was a little hard on Nick.
Damn it, Larry, be a man and do something for once in your life.
Why'd you have to make it personal?
And feel free to disagree with me, but I always saw Claire keeping her heels on as one of the more liberated things she does. Since Owen specifically pointed them out, she basically said, "I can do anything you can do and in heels." And how can a movie be sexist when the most horrific death goes to a generally innocent woman? That's equality right there. I won't pretend like any characters are extremely dynamic or super well written, but that's always been the balancing act of these movies. The human villains are cartoons because the real main characters are the dinosaurs. That's why the humans are just running around during the actual finale. Nature will take care of itself. That's always been the message of these films. Life finds a way to kill you. And for a movie with 4 different writers to the point that who gets credit has been contested, the story is totally comprehensible if not for some dumb decisions here and there. Pratt carries us in a lot of ways, but I really like Bryce and Chris's relationship and how they play off of each other. And it did the most important thing, the dinosaur action, extremely well. I think we probably have rose-colored glasses looking back at the original. We'll see, I promise I'll get to all of them. Especially the much maligned third. But my point is that these movies were never meant to be intense character dramas or studies of nuance. They're plot-driven thrillers. It's a park with dinosaurs that eat people sometimes. So, I'm looking forward to Fallen Kingdom. So we all know that Owen had some issues with personal hygiene, opting for brake fluid scent over whatever he smelled like prior. If only he'd known about today's sponsor. That's right, Dollar Shave Club does way more than just razors. They even have flushable wipes. This guy uses wipes, why not you? Even her? Well, no, not her. But believe it or not, Dollar Shave Club does way more than just razors. In fact, they have stuff you use every day, multiple times a day, like body wash, toothpaste, hairstyling products. All that stuff that makes you that nice looking and smelling person you should be. And for new members, they're offering 3 trial-sized versions of their most popular products, plus the executive razor with replacement cartridges. My favorite, and my wife's actually as well, is the amber and lavender body wash. And we're picky about scents, but this one is calming and delightful. That's right, I said delightful. So for just $5, you get the body wash, 3 one-wipe Charlies, shave butter, and of course the high-quality executive razor, which includes their premium weighty handle and full cassette of cartridges, all delivered right to your door. No need to interact with the outside world until after you use all the Dollar Shave Club products. Just go to dollarshaveclub.com/cinemawins to sign up today. After the first box, replacement cartridges are sent for only a few bucks a month. You'll feel and look great, and you'll be helping support the channel as well. Links in the description, or go to dollarshaveclub.com/cinemawins.
Cover up your door pouch. 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 Cover up your door pouch.